Okay, looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dallas Meditation Center. Thank you all for coming today. We've got a great lineup of some meditation and a Dharma talk from Michael today. So I hope you all are staying warm on this chilly November evening. And let's start with a few sounds of the bell. Okay, so we have Catherine bowing in and Barbara bowing in, saying grateful for our Sangha. John is also bowing in tonight from Plano. Thank you all for checking in, and everyone feel free to comment bowing in or something that you're grateful for or a quality that you're welcoming into your life. Just to check in, we're always happy to hear from you. Dallas Meditation Center says, hello, grateful for a cool day. Next, we're going to move to the opening affirmation today. Noble community, we gather here now to honor the way of peace and nonviolence, the way of wisdom and compassion, the way of joy and beauty, in solidarity with one another, with all humanity, and with all life on earth. Friends on the path, we gather here now to deepen our solidity like a mountain and to renew our freshness like a flower. Through mindful sitting and walking, mindful singing and breathing, and mindful speaking and listening. Family of awakening, we gather here now to celebrate the one infinite light that shines through many religions and many cultures, to cultivate the wisdom of our many teachers, both ancestral and contemporary, and to affirm the capacity within all souls and all persons of every race, gender, orientation, and tradition to realize full and complete enlightenment. Okay. And next, we will turn it over to Bobby for a song. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Glad to see that many of you are checking in, and Catherine has joined us. Grateful for family time on Zoom today. That sounds nice. Luis is bowing in, offering us peace. Angie and Alex are here, grateful for health, meaningful connections, and unconditional love. Thank you. That's what I feel like that's a good thing to be grateful for. We could all use that. So speaking of health and being grateful for health, I think there are many people in our community, in our state, in our country that are struggling with their health right now. So let's do the Medicine Buddha chant for ourselves and for everyone else in our country, in the world, everybody who's suffering. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaishya Guru Vaidurya Prabharashaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vaishya Vaishaje Maha Vaishaje Raja Samukate Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaishaja Guru Vaidurya Prabharajaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vaishaje Vaishaje Maha Vaishaje Om Namo Bhagavate Vaishaja Guru Vaidurya Prabharajaya Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vaishaje Vaishaje Maha Vaishaje Raja Samukate Swaha. So I want to say welcome to Lisa, who's thankful for the Sangha. And to all of you, I'm very grateful that you are here. So we'll get ready for our sitting meditation now. And before we do that, I'd like to recite a little bit of the contemplation before sitting, and then we'll invite 3 sounds of the bell to prepare for our meditation. The Sangha is invited to go back to our breathing so that our collective energy of mindfulness brings us together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole Sangha breathe as one body, generate peace as one body, be free as one body. Let us transcend the boundaries of a delusive self, liberating ourselves from the superiority complex, the inferiority complex, and the equality complex.
Okay, everybody, just take a moment to get comfortable and settle into your body. And if you need to lie down, just feel free to lie down. If you're sitting, just allow your spine to feel fluid and lifted so that you're neither tensing nor collapsed. We may take a little deeper breath in for a moment to just relax our mind. Letting the thoughts take a moment to slow down. Just giving permission for them to take a little nap. We give this time to come into the present moment, being aware of our body, and just softening through the forehead, letting the skin of the eyebrows melt away from each other, allowing the brain cells to soften, the eyes, the tiny muscles behind your eyes, letting them release. Relaxing through the cheeks and the lower jaw. And just noticing that soft touch of air, the sensations as they come in through the nose and going out gently. Just noticing where the air may enter into your body. And just taking your time to slow down. No right or wrong way to breathe. Just feeling the sensations as they may touch the tip of your nose. And gently releasing outwards. Letting it flow like a river. The breath gently coming in, and as it slowly goes out like a wave, we relax into ourselves more deeply, building that relationship within, creating a friendly space inside, a welcoming space of your home. So as we be with the breath, just noticing the spaces as the breath comes in, gently expanding. And as it empties out, just emptying out through your mind. Bringing your attention down towards your shoulders. And maybe allowing the breath to come towards the tips of the shoulders. And then the back side of the body, the shoulders rest down onto the ribs. We have those beautiful lungs in the back body, in the sides of the body, near the armpits. You may imagine the lungs have millions of little cells, those cells spreading open into the back lungs. And with the exhalation, maybe feeling the back sides of the arms dropping down towards your elbows. Just feeling the back side of the body resting. The wings of the shoulders expanding, softly releasing, resting. Bringing your attention towards the front of your body, near the chest, collarbone area, so softening through the tissues maybe of the front of your throat, and down the sides of your neck, tissues through that sternum and collarbone area, relaxing. And the tissues of your heart. Again, those millions of cells within the heart tissue, opening and spreading, and soft emptying out. Just being aware of the breath in that area. The lungs filling towards the armpits. And gently deflating, softening into the earth. Taking the awareness a little further down towards your solar plexus, where we have so many organs. We're grateful for all the work that they do in our body. So maybe observing the kidneys and the backside again. Kidneys relax. Into our liver, maybe into the colon. A lot of our gut emotions sometimes come here. So just softening through that middle area as you allow the breath to slowly rise and fall. And dropping down now all the way to the bowl of the pelvis. Just feeling the breath maybe near your sacrum or the front of your belly. All the way down through your legs, your shins and your heels. And then just imagining your body solid like a mountain. Feeling the earth beneath you. So as the breath comes in, we feel the solidity. And on the exhalation, the groundedness of a mountain. And to yourself, saying, on the in-breath, my body solid like a mountain. And on your out-breath, I smile to my body. My body grounded and solid, firm. And on my out-breath, I smile for all that my body does for me. Just taking your time to observe that solidity. Breathing in, my mind solid. Breathing out, I smile to my body. My body solid like a mountain, firm. I smile to my body, grateful for all that it does for me. And then bringing your awareness towards your head. Sometimes we think of our mind up there. Let's just imagine the mind like a beautiful blue sky, spacious and free. And on the in-breath, I breathe in my mind, spacious and free. On my out-breath, I smile to my mind, giving space to allow things to come and go. Room to breathe. My mind is spacious and free on my in-breath. And on my out-breath, I let go, smiling to my mind. Blue and expansive, spacious and free. Smiling to my mind, I let go. And then coming down again towards the heart. Imagining a beautiful flower inside your heart. And on the inhalation, allowing the petals of your flower to open softly. And on the out breath, relaxing, softening inward. Allowing that sensation of those petals to spread. Little cells of the flower opening and expanding. You may even notice, you may be able to smell your flower. Sensations. softly opening, sweet and innocent and fresh. And on the out breath, I smile to my heart. My in-breath, I letting the petals of my flower open with kindness and ease. And on the out breath, I smile to my heart, grateful to be. Feeling the softness of the petals opening with my in-breath. Smiling to my heart on my out-breath. Letting the breath move through me like a river, flowing in, flowing out. Solid like a mountain. Spacious and free is my mind. Open and kind is my heart.
May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be joyful.
May all beings be joyful.
May all beings be at peace.
May all beings be at peace.
Brahma Vihara Maitri.
Brahma Vihara Maitri.
Brahma Vihara Karuna.
Brahma Vihara Karuna.
Brahma Vihara Mudita.
Brahma Vihara Mudita.
Brahma Vihara Upeksha.
Brahma Vihara Upeksha.
May all beings be happy.
May all beings be happy.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be joyful.
May all beings be joyful.
May all beings be at peace.
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 Oh, thank you, Paula, for that really relaxing, wonderful meditation. So we're going to do our refuge chant now. Actually, we just do it as a reading now. Honoring the Buddha, the teachings of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the community, the Sangha. We take refuge in the Buddha, the awakened heart of infinite light, that which shows us the way in life. We take refuge in the Dharma, the awakening path of infinite light, the way of understanding and of love. We take refuge in the Sangha, the awakening community of infinite light, those who live in harmony and awareness. So we'll talk about this again, but I noticed that Cornell has put in our chat box information about the All Sangha annual meeting, which is coming up on December the 4th. We'll talk about that more when we have some announcements later. But just to know that that's there in your window, and do want you to register so that we can send you the link for it. It is happy to welcome Michael Ferraro to talk to us again this evening. Michael, as you all know, probably is the president of our board of directors, and he's going to talk about the meaning of life. Big topic. So, Michael, we'll pass over to you.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you all for joining us. I'm quite grateful to be this evening. When I haven't been in our space in a while, and when I walked in the door, it felt, and so I can tell you that the energy here is the same as it's always been, and I suspect it's going to stay that way. And so I would bet that when the day comes that we reopen, and we will, that when all of you come back here for the first time, you too will feel like you never left. So just thought I'd share that with you. So I'm going to talk about how you find meaning in your life, just sort of a minor topic in the scheme of things. I would wager that most of us at one time or another have asked ourselves one or more of the following questions. Why am I here? Where am I going? What is life all about? What is my purpose in life? What makes life worth living? All of these questions have a common thread. They require that we engage in the search for meaning in our lives. Meaning, with a capital M, brings us into existential territory. And these are existential questions that seem to have no real answers. What makes us ask such questions? I think it's because we know with certainty that life is very fragile. Time lost is never recovered, and time is easy to waste and hard to use wisely. How much time we have left on this earth is unknowable. One of our greatest fears is facing death with remorse and regret. You could say that meaning is a matter of life and death. Or put another way, what would your life be like without meaning? It depends. It depends on how much you care about it. I'm suggesting that a life without meaning is empty. One way to define meaning in life is the extent to which you understand and make sense of or see significance in your life. This, along with the degree that you perceive yourself to have a purpose, a mission, or an overarching aim in life. Life without meaning would just be a list of events that don't join together into a unified, sensible whole. A life without meaning is a life without a story, with nothing to aspire to, no sense of what might have been or what has been. So what about meaning? How do you know if you have it? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Instead of asking what the meaning of life is, ask, what is the meaning of my life? The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Meaning in my context is a big philosophical concept that describes a relationship. It's the relationship between you and humanity, between you and planet Earth. Inclined, and I recommend it, it can also be the relationship between you and the universe. If this sounds too new agey for you, there is quite a bit of research that I looked up that shows having meaning is correlated with improvements in longevity, depression, personality traits, medical conditions, income, and general well-being. A meaningful life cultivates positive, healthy functioning, as in life satisfaction, enjoyment of work, a positive outlook, a feeling of hope, and in general, a higher level of well-being. Other research suggests that meaning in life is associated with higher scores for memory, executive functioning, and overall cognition. In other words, you think better, especially at an older age. In positive psychology, a meaningful life is a construct, meaning it's man-made. It has to do with the purpose, significance, fulfillment, and satisfaction of life. Purpose is the need to do something, the need to act. Significance is the need to make sense, as in the integration of your life into a coherent whole. You may have heard about a famous book that was written about meaning. The self-explanatory title, Man's Search for Meaning, was written in 1946 by Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who became a neurologist and a psychiatrist. He said, "Ever more people today have the means to live, but no meaning to live for." He created logotherapy, whose main beliefs are: life has meaning under all circumstances, even the most miserable ones. Our main motivation for living is our will to find meaning in life. We have freedom to find meaning in what we do and what we experience. The good news is that anyone can do it. The not so good news is that no one can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. You have to make your own meaning. But it's no secret. There's no mystery to it. Meaning is all around us all the time. So what makes life meaningful? In order to find meaning, we must question how we attain a positive sense of well-being, belonging, and purpose. And we must do it from being part of and contributing back to something larger and more permanent than ourselves. Looking for meaning requires curiosity about yourself, our world, and the universe. Curiosity, creativity, learning, and discovery, which are essential for personal growth. Looking for meaning requires thinking big. You won't find it in your backyard or even in our country. We must expand the search to include our planet and ideally the universe as a whole. So I'm going to suggest a framework that may be helpful. Where do I find meaning? How do I find meaning? Where do you begin to get your head around this elusive concept? I suggest a focus on 3 areas. If you spend quality time reflecting and deciding here, I believe you'll have created a framework to find your meaning. They can be considered as building blocks. They are values, ethics, and legacy. What are your values and what makes them important? What beliefs guide your actions? If you're like most people, you haven't thought of them, yet they govern everything you do. You live your values every day. A value is what you hold most dear. It's a fundamental belief, a guiding principle that will enable you to live the life you want. Some examples are freedom and independence, inspiration and discovery, belonging, community, inclusion, understanding and acceptance, peace and balance and harmony, fun, play, and humor, safety and security, space and solitude, love and affection, intimacy, connection and closeness, service and kindness, compassion and empathy, learning and knowledge, respect and appreciation. Our actions reflect our values whether you realize it or not. You can say you care about something, but if you take no action on it, you really don't care that much. You can say you care about climate change, but if you expend no energy on it, how much do you really care? And if our actions define who we are, then our values are extensions of ourselves. Sometimes we lie to ourselves about what we value. We may think we value something, but our actions say otherwise. And we don't want to admit that. It's this discrepancy between what we want to value and the reality that causes us to avoid facing who we really are. One might call that delusion. We live our values. What values are you living? That brings us to ethics. And what are ethics? What makes them important? How do you decide the actions you will take toward others? Ethics are your beliefs and standards regarding right and wrong behavior. I think the words right and wrong are too absolute and judgmental, so I prefer to use either helpful and unhelpful or healthy and unhealthy. Often decisions aren't so clear-cut. Ethics has a very long history. The philosophy of Stoicism was created in Greece in the early 3rd century BC, and it lasted for about 600 years. Stoicism was a system of personal ethics based on logic and reason. A key concept was virtue. A virtue is a positive trait that makes one a good human being. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in the Meditations, circa 180 AD, quote, "Put an end once and for all to this discussion of what a good man should be and be one." We use our personal ethics every day to decide our actions. Some are routine, such as, will I let this driver switch lanes in front of me? Or will I pick up that piece of trash in my neighbor's yard? Others are more important, such as, will I give credit to someone else for the work they did? Or will I admit to making a mistake? Some ethical decisions are life-changing. If I'm seriously injured, do I want to be kept alive at all costs? Some of us have had to make that decision for loved ones, and we know how excruciating that is. The well-known Hippocratic Oath has been taken by doctors since between the 5th and 3rd centuries BC. I think we would all agree to follow it. It states, first, do no harm. The 5 mindfulness trainings and the Noble Eightfold Path could be considered ethical statements. They represent the Buddhist vision for a global spirituality and ethic. If we live according to these trainings, we are on the path of a bodhisattva. What are your personal ethics? What are the things you will and will not do? What principles of behavior do you live by? Now comes legacy. What does legacy mean? What makes it important? One use of the word legacy is as a popular noun that's used to name things to add a positive perception. Our default impression is that it describes something good. Legacy Stadium or Legacy Square are so named to project strength and longevity. Yet, we know that a legacy can be negative as well. The legacies of authoritarian governments and dictators are painful reminders of a legacy of suffering. A dictionary definition of legacy is something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or predecessor. Your legacy is not just about after your death. You are creating your legacy by the way you live each day. In fact, you are creating your legacy right now. Traces of your presence are left behind by every action you take You've already left the legacy. What is it? Whether you know it or like it or not, you are transmitting yourself every day to people you engage with. Some pertinent questions to ask yourself are, how do I want to be remembered? What will I leave behind? What will I regret when I'm dying? Here's an exercise for you. Write your own obituary, not the epitaph on your tombstone. The write-up you'd like make you think hard about what's meaningful for you. So, a parting thought. The paradoxical secret to finding meaning may be to not look for it. The most enriching forms of meaning may appear not when we pursue them directly, but when we instead seek beauty, love, justice, or as Viktor Frankl writes, a cause greater than oneself. The secret to a meaningful life may be to set our intention every day, to do the right thing, to love fully, to seek new experiences, and to do important work. Not because we're trying to find meaning in life, but because these actions are good in themselves. The way to find meaning may be to allow meaning to find us.
Great. Thank you for that talk, Michael. Meaning in life. I will definitely be going back and watching that. There were a lot of very helpful nuggets that I want to chew on for a while. And yeah. So, announcements. I think I'll turn it over to Bobby for announcements today. I don't have any.
So I want to begin with what's coming up right away, which is next Sunday. Excuse me. So I invited you to send me a number, and then I promised that I would send you a quote that corresponds to the number. I have a list. So that'll be part of what we do next time is read these quotes. And then I was thinking that because we all enjoyed the tea ceremony so much, that we would do a tea ceremony, and then at the end of it, we will read the quotes. So please send me a number or have your own quote ready. That's fine too. And we will enjoy a tea ceremony. We'll start on YouTube and do our meditation and probably do the beginnings of the ceremony where you light candles and there's a chant and that sort of thing. And then at some point after that, we'll go to the Zoom platform so that we can see one another, share tea together in that space, and then enjoy reading and talking about the quotes. So that'll be the first thing that I want you to think about. And then, very, very important, on December the 1st, we will be engaged in a fundraiser called Giving Tuesday. A lot of information has already gone out to the mailing list, but Giving Tuesday, and you'll see there's a link to it in your chat box. Giving Tuesday is one of the most important fundraisers, and in this year it is even more important than ever because it's probably obvious, but when people are not coming to the meditation center, donations decrease. And so we are depending on these fundraisers to help us maintain the kind of budget that's important to keep us thriving, which we are. So please give what you can. And if you'd like to be a sponsor to help us create a matching fund, what that means is that whatever somebody gives will be matched by this fund. So that if somebody gives $50, we would get $100, and so on. So that's a very important thing coming up also in December. And then the next important thing happens on December the 4th, which is when we have our annual meeting. Now this is really a fun thing to do because it gives you a real overview of what has happened in 2020. And not all of it has been calamitous. So you'll see what we've done in 2020, and then you'll hear about our plans for next year. And we will also discuss what we have done so far to prepare for reopening. And so there'll be some information about that as well. So 3 things coming up really soon. And so watch your emails, watch your inbox for information about these things. And I hope you'll participate in all of them. I think that's it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. So let's prepare to go to Zoom. And to finish up here, I will do the closing chant. Countless beings we vow to free, ceaseless afflictions we vow to end, limitless truth doors we vow to open, the deepest paths of awakening we vow to realize. Thank you, dear friends. I look forward to seeing all of you on Zoom in a very short time, a couple of minutes.
Ending stream. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye. See you on Zoom.